Hi. My extract from the book Fahrenheit from 451 of the chapter 2, The Sieve and the Sand, is the next one. The next one. Can't trust people, that's the dirty part. You and I, and who else will set the fires? Aren't there professors like yourself, former writers, historians, linguistics? Dead or ancient? The older the better, they will go unnoticed. You know dozens, admit it. Oh, there are many actors alone who haven't acted Pirandello or Shaw or Shakespeare for years because their plays are too aware of the world. We could use the younger, and we could use the honest rage of those historians who haven't written a line for 40 years. True, we might form classes in thinking and reading. Yes, but that would just nibble the edges. The whole culture's shot through. The skeleton needs melting and reshaping. Good God, it isn't as simple as just picking up a book you laid down half a century ago. Remember, the firemen are readily necessary. The public itself stopped reading of its town accord. You, firemen, provide a circus now and then at which buildings are set off and crowds gather for the pretty place, but it's a small sideshow indeed, and hardly necessary to keep things in line. So few want to be rebels anymore. And out of those few, most, like myself, scare easily. Can you dance faster than the White Clown? Shout louder than Mr. Gimmick and the Parlos families? If you can, you will win your way. Montag, in any event, you are a fool. People are having fun. Committing suicide and murdering. A bomber fight had been moving east all the time the talk, and only now did the two men stop and listen, feeling the great jet sound trembling inside themselves. Patience, Montag. Let the war turn off the families. Our civilization is flying itself to pieces. Stand back from the centrifuge. There has to be someone ready when it blows up. What? Men quoting Milton? Saying, I remember Sophocles reminding the survivors that man has his God inside. 2. Will they only gather up their stones to hurt at each other? Montag, go home, go to bed. Why waste your final hours racing about your cage, denying you are a squirrel? Then you don't care anymore? I care so much. I'm sick. And you won't help me? Good night, good night. Montag's hands picked up the Bible. He saw what his hands had done, and he looked surprised. Would you like to own this? Father said. I had give my right arm. Montag stood there and waited for the next thing to happen. His hands, by themselves, like two men working together, began to rip the pages from the book. The hands tore the flyleaf, and then the first, and then the second page. Idiot, what are you doing? Favre sprang up as if he had been struck. He fell against Montag. Montag warded him off and let his hands continue. 6 more pages fell to the floor. He picked them up and waded to the paper under Faber's gaze. Don't, said the old man. Who can stop me? I'm a fireman. I can burn you. The old man stood looking at him. You wouldn't. I would. So, first the summary. This fragment it's a conversation between Montax and Power in Faber's house. Both of them are planning for a revolution because they are being oppressed. They are thinking that they can use help from the writers, linguistics, readers, historians, etc. And also that they can use the feeling of anger that they have in common because they haven't written a line in 40 years. But Faber was not excited of this plan. Faber tried to send Montag home, but Montag didn't like didn't like that, so started to broke the Bible, and he shows that in the bottom of himself he is still being a fireman. The audience. This extract can be for people that really trust in books and literature as a solution, as something important to people have in their lives, to people that trust that literature and books can be useful for their thoughts and their actions. The purpose. The purpose is to promote the importance of the books and the importance to get justice when societies are collapsed, to make the rights be respected, and to promote the books and the literature as something important and necessary for the people. The language. In this case, as it is a conversation, the language is semi-formal because they use some expressions that can be used in informal speakings. And also, it's formal because they are talking about such important things, but they are still using expressions that make the language semi-formal. The tone. As the conversation, the main point was the intention of Montag, the extract has a tone of rebellion and kind of scared because of the case of Faber, that he was scared of making a revolution. With which program topic of the program I related this? With the social organization. Why? Because in the fragment we can see how is organized that society. The ones who protect and believe in the books as the solution of the whole problematic are appointed as rebels, and they are becoming the enemies of the state, and the firemen, the one who has to help people, make the totally different things. They burn the books, and they are the ones who has the power in that society. So for that reason I choose social organization, because we can see how firemen have the whole power and they are respected, and people who wants the solution by the books and literature are becoming enemies and rebels for the state. Which global problematic can be related with this? I think that the recent things that are going on Latin America can be related with this. As you know, in Latin America this year started to make revolution, to protest, to march against the injustices, the corrupt governments, etc. People were tired of being oppressed, so they started to plan against the things that are bad in these societies, as it is going on in this fragment. We saw how Montaki is excited to make a plan to stop with the injustices and the problematics that are happening in that society. And we also saw in Latin America people that can't go out to protest and be part of the revolution because they are scared, because firemen, or in this case in the real life situation, the police can hurt them. So for that reason people is scared, as Faber is. Also, we can see how when they are planning for make the revolution, in this case as Montag, then he became kind of crazy because he started to use the violence to make Faber accept making the plan. In Latin America, things like that are occurring. People that are protesting are also using violence to make their messages get heard, but that's not the way I think so. So that was the analysis of my fragment of the second part of the book, The Sieve and the Sand. Thanks.